The moon hung low on the gallows beam, light as a tooth in a fevered dream. The rope was gone, but the shadows stayed, swinging slow where the old law prayed. We made our camp where the dead once stood, because shade is shade, and shade is good.
The posts were black from 100 storms, carved with dates and crooked forms, names half cut by knives and rain, debts paid badly, grief paid plain.
A crow sat high like a judge unpaid, watching the soup and the bread we laid. New faces came with hollow cheeks, 3 from the town, 2 road lost weeks. No one asked who failed them first. We had enough bowls for thirst. One man stared at the hanging tree, then said, "Fine church, rotten clergy. Set the bread on broken wood,
Pour the soup where sinners stood.
If the gallows gives us shade, call it grace and pass the blade."
Under the gallows moon, we break the bread and grin. Under the gallows moon, let the cold night wander in. If this is church, then bless the stew, bless the scar and the borrowed spoon. We make communion with the living. Under the gallows moon.
The soup had courage, little taste, and one dark lump we all misplaced. A woman poked it with her knife, said, "Is that hope or form of life?"
The cook said hope is usually tougher. Eat it warm and do not suffer. Someone laughed with a cracked dry throat. Somebody else made room in his coat.
The gallows creaked, the wind was thin, as if the beam was joining in. Good, let old justice hear us chew. It swallowed plenty, now it can stew. Count the bowls and count the names. No one dines outside the flames. If the old rope wants a prayer, let it hear we still can share.
Under the gallows moon, we break the bread and grin. Under the gallows moon, let the cold night wander in. If this is church, then bless the stew, bless the scar and the borrowed spoon. We make communion with the living. Under the gallows moon.
Dear old law, dear hanging tree, you solved hunger very neatly. Drop the poor, praise the brave, sell the rope, rent the grave. Elegant work, you rotten saints. Nothing fixes hunger like restraints. Tonight your beam holds no one high. It holds our lantern from the sky.
The stranger with the burned left hand gave half his crust to a child from the sand. The mother from the ration line poured broth for men she did not trust.
Trust is not a clean white thing. It starts in dirt and does what it must. A former guard took off his badge, laid it down by the root, said, "I wore this while people starved." The cook said, "Good, now pass fruit." It was not fruit, nobody cared. The joke survived because he shared.
No rope for the hungry, no throne for the fed, no law for the living that worships the dead. One bowl for the stranger, one cup for the scar. If the moon wants confession, it knows where we are. Under the gallows moon, we break the bread and grin. Under the gallows moon, let the cold night wander in. If this is church, then bless the stew, bless the scar and the borrowed spoon. We make communion with the living. Under the gallows moon.
Under the gallows
Moon.
old Shane can sit nearby, We do not wash our hands of it. We remember and try.
When morning paled the hanging ground, no new dead swung, no judge was found. Only tracks wore marsh and one old beam, looking less proud in the dawn's first scene.
We left no sermon nailed in place, just crumbs, cut marks, and human grace. The gallows kept its shadow thin. We had made room for people in.